Album Review, the podcast where four totally unqualified guys review a different album every week in the hope of broadening our knowledge of music. However, we are easily swayed off topic and have no real idea what we are talking about. Today's album is Post Malone, 12 Carat Toothache.
Woo! I was expecting everyone else to woo and nobody joined in. I was really disappointed.
You never planned. That was an unplanned woo, Will.
It was an unplanned woo.
It doesn't matter. We don't plan our woos. Don't start like trying to make the audience think that we plan our woos. All right, everybody, on the count of three, we're going to woo. Like white people at the cinema when Captain America comes on screen. Come on.
It's not 3, 2, 1 clap. It's 3, 2, 1.
Will edits it now, so he's just gonna like boost the hell out of that woo to make.
Yeah, I'm just gonna put 4 woos over the top of my woo, and then it'll sound like you've all joined in. I'm not being left alone like this.
Will types in royalty-free woos on Google and just adds them in.
Will, can you bass boost the next few words that I say just to make it sound like a racial insult? Iguana. You fucking iguana!
I'll try it and see what happens.
see if that does anything. Thank you.
For fuck's sake.
Yeah, iguana.
So Post Malone, new album. It's been 3 years.
Since what?
Since his last album,
Thank
or
you.
2.5 since we reviewed it. I think the last album. Which feels, I can't believe it's been that long. It doesn't even feel that long ago that we fucking last reviewed it.
COVID's just been a bit of a time sink, isn't it? Like, I still feel like I'm 23.
Yes. I am 23 and I still feel like I'm
23.
21.
Oh, wow.
The other day, I was like, oh, fucking hell, like, I remember saying someone my age and I was like, I'm 22. I'm fucking 23. And I couldn't believe it.
Has it got to the point now where, like, because I've started just losing track. I've stopped counting. Like,
Yeah.
and it feels like
You're only 23.
it feels old to say that, but I don't count anymore. I'm just like,
Yeah,
how
me
old
too.
am
I'm
I
just ready
again?
for death
Oh,
now,
yeah.
honestly.
You know?
Every inch that Joe's hair goes back, he forgets more.
Right, you joke, right? But I genuinely do forget my age, like whether I'm 22 or 23.
I do all the time.
I actually needed to ask you, Will, who were you recently telling your age? Hi, I'm Chris Hansen. Take a seat right over
America.
here.
It was
23,
in
are
America.
you? Talking to this 14-year-old girl? Hi, I'm Chris Hansen.
I went on the Grand Canyon tour thing, and there was like, there was these lads from Birmingham, and then there was these, loads of people just scattered from all over America. Some like super southern America, and they were like, asking where I was from
Sorry,
and stuff,
no,
and how old I
Can
am.
you say it properly? I'll be Will.
All right.
You be the Southern Americans. Joe, you be the helicopter.
I wasn't in a helicopter. I was in a bus.
Right, Denver, you be the boss. Joe, keep being the helicopter. You're doing great.
Howdy there, partner. Where be ye from?
I'm Will Davey and I'm 23 years old.
This is awful. I don't want to carry on with this. No, basically,
Hey, you getting off of this stop?
Y'all ain't allowed to get off of this stuff.
Y'all ain't allowed. Basically, they asked how old I was, and I forgot, and then was like, "Oh shit, I'm 23," and yeah, it kind of hit me, and then I felt sad for the rest of the trip. But it's not pleasant, is it? I don't like getting old.
I think for me, it's not so much a case of I forget my age. It's more a case of like, especially with my work, I was quite a few people there younger than me, and I think I'm their age. Like, I think I'm their year group, and then I'm actually like, oh shit, these older people I'm actually closer to in age than the guys I think I'm close to in age.
Yeah.
Just know that at some point in your life, you would have been much larger than them and an ability to punch and beat them up. If they were 1 and you were like 4, you could have actually kicked the fuck out of them.
It's true.
Also,
At any age,
Joe,
I could do that to anyone.
Yeah, alright, grow the fuck up, lad.
I came out of the womb just punching.
Yeah, so did I. It's called a felony. Sorry, yeah, you got it, Joe. Thank you. Thank you. Because your mic was, yeah, cool.
Sorry.
No, it's fine.
You know, it was echoing.
It was.
No.
What are you asking? Did Joe not know?
Did Joe not know?
Well, how
Joe
would Joe
know?
know? He would be just hearing our audio.
You just said about the mic.
It was echoing.
Yeah, but how has he stopped it?
By moving. Look how far away he is.
I swear I just heard it again. There you go.
Ah!
Yeah,
Yeah, I think it's going through.
this is going really well.
Just turn your volume down.
Yeah,
Jay.
do you not have like a volume slider on like your
What is your volume set to on Windows?
100.
That's probably why.
Yeah, that's
Jesus Christ! Have you got any ears? Joe just returned us this.
I'm just checking mine now. I was like, fucking 100. Mine's on 70. And even
Mine's
that's loud.
25.
Mine's on 54.
I've put mine
Joe's on
down
like
now.
100. I like the idea when Joe doesn't have his headphones on, he just has about 8 speakers around his neck. Sorry, I can't hear you. It's just like melting his face.
Say that again!
Fucking hell, Joe.
The thing is, though, it's a bit disproportionate, right? Because like I have mine to 25, but I may have everyone boosted on Discord.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I do normally have Will like quite high because he mumbles a lot, doesn't he?
But even at that, I find I am constantly turning things down. Like when I play games, they are always so ear-piercingly loud.
I thought you had free samples at the store. Well, you never take the free samples when you go anywhere new? Like the free
No.
milk trays that you get when you go
you
to
don't
the
see
sperm
them a lot.
clinic.
I feel like they don't happen.
They do. I tell you what, when I used to work in Tesco Mobile,
Thank you.
there used to be like a little old lady, and she used to come out with this like. It used to be different little tasters every day, and we always used to go over and take one, and then get told off because we were eating it and work and stuff. But she always used to come out.
Those were actually
That's
your
her earning.
Samples.
And she was, and she was like,
I've got to
"Please
go
have
to
one."
I've got yeast infection. And
That was a
oh,
stall
shots at work. Oh.
She was always like, "Please have one," because I think like the quicker she got rid of them, the quicker she could just go. So she wants to get rid of them as soon as possible.
So she got paid by like how many samples she sold. She just sold them like back to employees.
Yeah,
I get commission on all the.
we got as many as we wanted.
You get commission on free samples.
How does that? Do you get negative money?
Can I ask, was she stood outside the drugstore at Tesco's that's usually there? What is it like? Is it
The
Holland,
pharmacy.
Holland and Barrett? Yeah, but it's usually
Oh, Holland and Barrett.
Barrett.
Ballot.
Yeah.
Ballot,
They
hello,
do like
Holland
the
and Ballot.
vitamins and
Big
stuff.
fan
Like
of.
Yeah, they're in like every Tesco now.
Oh, yeah.
She's just giving out pill samples and shit. All the Tesco lot are just go in there.
To be fair, I'm like a dog. If you wrapped like a really strong pill of some kind in like ham
Cheese.
and cheese, I would just eat that. I would. Like,
Nice.
you could.
No
That's how
questions asked.
you could kill me instantly with a free sample platter and like and a fucking cheese stick doused in cyanide. I just take it. Oh, for me.
A bit of hard bit of cheese. Oh, could keep going. Chug it down, lad.
So we're like 8 minutes in, and we haven't mentioned the word Post Malone really.
I think I've mentioned it once.
Oh, grow up, lad.
So 3 years. I think it's been
Not long
worth the wait.
Okay.
Worth the wait.
I personally very
Nice.
much enjoy this album. I would say it's almost because Hollywood's Bleeding for me was the best Post Malone album as it comes. I would say this is very on par, maybe slightly less good. It's a great description. Slightly less good. Slightly less good. I'm not sure. Maybe with time. I've listened to this fucking excessively though. Probably
Time
about
does
30
heal
times.
all wounds.
Time is the true healer of all things.
Apart from radiation, that just gets worse.
And
That's not true.
age.
There's a period at 400 years or so where the half-life cuts off.
Yeah, but this is the trouble. It's like by then you're dead.
Well, it's all about time, isn't it? You know, I think it tastes great on steak.
So if you're saying if you get radiation poison, but you can survive 400 years, it will start to get better.
Yeah.
That's genius. Time does heal all wounds.
Also, have you ever tried to eat a clock? Time consuming.
Time conscious. Yeah, aye, that was Last of Us.
No, it
Terrible.
was Aidan.
That was The Last of Us.
Thank you, I'm Aidan.
That was The Last of Us.
The Last of Us.
Hey, coming at you
You know-
live, that was The Last of Us, and now we're going to be playing a brand new song from Will Davey. It's called Why Will These Stupid Americans Not Stop Talking to Me on This Bus, and Where Did This Helicopter Come From? Stay tuned.
There was helicopters going up to the Grand Canyon, because we was coming up to like the bit to park up and walk around, and then but there was like obviously all these helicopters coming in to actually go in the Grand Canyon or just to drop people off where we were, and we like as we were pulling up, we had like two either side of us. Like it felt like I was in a movie. I'm not gonna lie, it was really cool. So there was technically helicopter sounds.
That's crazy. Can you, like, talk about the album?
Sorry, I will.
Yeah. What's
Go on.
weird? Just a thought off the top of my mind.
I love the way you moved your head
this-
then. It's a shame people won't be able to see that.
Thank
But
you.
it's sort of like,
This kind of yeah.
It's
I
the,
rolled
it's
it
the
down.
smug taking over his whole body.
it
This-
was like your head
Like
was
a
falling.
Fucking, like a fucking parasite.
So
It was
ego
like your
just
head
kicked
was
in.
falling between two walls really narrowly and bouncing its way down.
Oh, like pachinko machine.
What I was going to say, it's quite interesting that, like, I'd say maybe all the last Post Malone albums, they've always been, like, had that one song that's been repeat on the radio.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I've heard any of these songs on the
I was
radio.
just gonna say, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't really
Well,
know
the-
which one. Like
well,
post this album coming out,
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know what song that is yet.
No,
Right,
I don't know what's
you've
going to be
definitely
the
heard
radio back.
One Right Now. One Right
Yeah,
Now
I'm
was
saying
on the radio for
post
ages.
this album.
In terms of
coming out.
post, I think it's going to be wrapped around your finger. And I Like You is currently massively in the charts with Doja Cat. That's like the most listened to song. Because he only released Cooped Up and One Right Now. That was literally the only two singles on this album. Whereas I think before he's done like 4 songs or something. But yes. In terms of this, so yeah, I think it's very similar to, very on par with Hollywood's Bleeding, but I can't decide which I like more or if I think they're just kind of exactly the same. I think the writing's better on this album. I think it's got some of his most like emotional and actually talking about his own life stuff and dealing with his own problems. Hence, there's loads of references to drugs and his past friend groups and his struggle with alcohol,
Mature
and
cheese.
talking about his exes and his toxic
And those.
hand hose.
Do you think he really used to like Halo when he was younger?
He's actively said that. Yeah, I'm
Yes.
pretty sure the
'Cause
Halo.
he has the
theme
Halo
tune-
theme, yeah. That was kind of the
That was in
bit.
the last album as well.
Yeah.
Yes, he's a
Was
big
it?
Halo fan and Elden Ring fan and Apex. He likes games. Well, his favourite game is currently that card game.
Who knows?
Hearthstone.
Inscription.
No,
Icy Dungeons.
Slay
no,
the
it's
Spire.
the super nerdy one. It's
Fucking no, wait,
Went.
no, but it is like that. What's the fuck's it called? Magic the Gathering.
like Magic the Gathering.
Top nerd. I'm taking my spot as top nerd of the group.
And
Yes!
he bought like a one card or something for like,
Okay.
it's either like thousands or million. I can't remember, but it's quite famous for it's like the most expensive card in fucking that you could buy, and it's signed by like the creator of it or something.
Blue Eyes White Dragon. Of course.
So he's
Blue Eyes White Dragon.
yes, there was Halo in there. But no, I think the writing, all the production is like obviously going to be sound, just as good as the last album. I don't think it can really get as much better in terms of that. I do know that with this album, I'll listen to like the Zane Lowe interview and stuff, and he was saying how this is like the first album that it's like his favorite album, which you could say, oh yeah, anyone's going to say that for the new fucking album, but he's specifically said it's because whenever he's wrote music before, and it's kind of why he got a bit burnt out with it in the end, and he lost passion for it, hence the 3-year break, is because he was kind of just writing songs to kind of make hits, and wasn't necessarily like he'd sit with all these producers and stuff and be like, oh, what's gonna make like be a hit, what's gonna do this, what's gonna do that, and how can we make it so there's gonna be this big hit. And I think you definitely got a sense for that from his last two albums. They said this album he kind of, and if you look on the last album, like each song had like 10 different people that worked on it, or just ridiculous amounts of people that he helped. And he said where this album he kind of just had like one person throughout and stuck with that one person. And
I feel like you can feel that in the music.
yes, and I think that's why it's a lot more personal. There's probably less stuff that would, like you say, be a single. It's more of a piece of work on its own as an album.
It's an experience.
It's not. It's not necessarily an experience. It's just more like.
No, it's an experience.
It's not supposed to be like these. Like before, there was probably about 6 singles on like worthy singles and stuff. Whereas this, I feel like it's more. It's less mainstream. The least mainstream album I think is made, but personally I think it's better for that, because it's more what he's wanted to write, and I fucking love it. In terms of picking, I think the pacing's really good. Obviously, the last 2 songs on the album are just added on for the deluxe, literally like a week after he released it, or 2 weeks or something. Which I don't really get that really. I don't know why I didn't just do it, because they're really good. I don't get the whole new recording thing, what that was all about.
I think that's the whole point. Is like I think he probably just did that on his phone.
Yes, and I think because isn't it just euthanasia, but
Acoustic.
but acoustic, and kind of sounds
But
like a
even
bit
shitter.
ass. Like euthanasia as a song itself is kind of just
Ass.
meh, and
Yep.
the way he sings it's a bit weird.
Yep.
Not the weakest song though, I would say, but it's definitely up there with the weakest song. And it's
If you were to hypothetically,
so what I would say is the weakest song, in my opinion, is "Waiting for a Miracle." I don't like the production on that. I feel like it's kind of just the same backing throughout the whole song. It never really picks up.
Yeah.
holy shit! I just shat myself then. I was like, I couldn't see "Waiting for a Miracle" fucking anywhere. I was like, "Waiting for Never." I was like, I've listened to the wrong album. Don't worry.
I think the way he sings in it, it works for what he's singing, but I just don't like that style of when he sings it, and the high pitchedness, and I feel I just think it's quite boring.
It's a bit boring, yeah.
Compared to a lot of the other songs. I didn't want to put the new recording thing as the worst, because it doesn't really feel like a song.
I quite liked it.
And it's nice to have it like raw, even if it is, I don't like necessarily how it what it is. It's kind of, to me, it's just kind of an interlude, so it felt wrong to just put that as the worst.
I liked it as a standalone song.
I think it feels wrong to put it even in the album.
I don't know.
I like
what
how
you're
you
talking
said it feels wrong to put it as a worst, when I'm pretty sure I said that once in an album. You guys all slated me for it.
I think that would have been.
Yes, I think I did.
If you look back on the context, there was probably a reason for that. Because it was probably like the best song on the album, and you were like, "It's an interlude. I'm not having it."
No, it was the other way around. I said, no, you guys said it was the worst song, and I was like, you can't count an interlude as the worst song.
I'm not
Maybe
saying
that was
that.
on an
I'm
album
just
that
saying. I'm
didn't
saying
have-
it shouldn't be in the album. I think it's.
Yeah.
I think it's fucking pretentious to even put it in there.
I don't know what it is.
A half-assed, clearly just like you say, phone recorded.
I
Just
think
like
it's the case of
acoustic
like
thing.
it would have been nice just to put on YouTube or something. Just as
Yeah, maybe. It was like
this
a
was
maybe.
like how my idea started.
Yeah,
on this song.
exactly. But
But
why
not
put it
on
in
the
an
actual album. Yeah.
Maybe it's how the album, when the album first started to get written, or maybe like that's
Wait,
maybe
but
that's why there's a date.
Isn't that the last song on the first like the actual album? Oh my god, it is. So he ends with that fucking
Yes.
terrible. That's fucking abysmal.
But I don't.
Right,
I,
you should
again,
be ashamed, Post Malone.
I need to know
that.
why. I want to know why he put it in. I don't really know why
Ask
I did.
him.
But
You've got him on Instagram. Just DM him.
it's
Just
it
drop a
doesn't
DM, hey.
take away anything from the album, but it also doesn't add to it at all. So it's one of them. So worse for me was Waiting for a Miracle, just for being a bit meh and didn't really, compared to all the rest of it. I just think it's just not very well written and produced, and like I say, I think the backing's just the same throughout. So it's just very meh. Picking a top 3, I found extremely hard because I didn't necessarily like. I love the songs a lot, but I never found one that I was like, yeah, this is definitely the best. Like, I feel like I never felt that way because I feel like all the songs that I liked, not for like reasons we've had before where we'd say I can't pick a best because they're all just kind of the same and whatever. It's because they're just genuinely all good, and I listen to them all equally. There's not been one where I like constantly listen to over and over and over again. So it was very hard to pick. Like, I've got a ridiculous amount of honourable mentions, and probably on another day I could have just picked a completely different top 3.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I'm the same.
But third, I've gone for just how I was fucking feeling, and I've gone with When I'm Alone. I think it's a little diamond where it is. It's because it kind of, especially from what it follows, because it follows after Euthanasia, which was kind of just a bit of a toned down. And I was like, oh, that's a bit of a weaker song, and then it comes back up again. And it's like a diamond in the rough, because it is in between Euthanasia and Waiting for a Miracle, which
Like
I
a
thought
what,
were the... What?
Like a what?
Diamond in the rough.
That's not our saying, Will.
Why?
Well,
What saying is it?
It's diamond in the coal mine.
It's a gold in the coal mine.
Gold. It's
Oh
gold
yeah,
in the
it's
coal.
like gold in a
Like
coal
an elephant
mine,
in the
It's
ocean.
like an elephant in the ocean.
because it's just surrounded by the my
Water.
2 least favourite songs on the album.
It's cold in a cold.
It does make sense.
does
I
make
don't
sense,
care.
but it
It
just
does,
sounds
but it's just like it's not a thing. But
like
It's just not a saying.
It is now.
It's only a saying an album.
It stands out maybe because of that. It's very well written. I love the build-ups in it. His vocals in it are really cool. And it's just up there. But like I say, there was so many that I could have just easily put in my top 3. So another day it could have been something else completely. And I will say my honourable mentions at the end.
Are you sure?
But yes, even though it might take a while. Second for me, I went with Wrapped Around Your Finger, because I think it's probably going to be the one that's in the charts. It's like the most similar to his older stuff. It reminds me a bit of like Better Now and that kind of style that he used to do. It was the one where when he did like a teaser thing on his Instagram Live where he did like 4 songs, and that was the one that kind of stood out to me then. I was like, holy shit, like it's not just going to be shit, which is amazing. It's super well produced. Probably the most poppy on this album.
That's that happy, bouncy feeling.
Yes, literally of what would usually hit off for him in the charts and stuff. It is the most like Post Malone song if you just listen to the chart. It's great and super catchy. And just reminds me of his old stuff, while also including a lot of the elements of his new writing, which I really liked. But first for me, I kind of just went with because it starts off the whole thing and it's so good. And when I first listened to this album and I heard this song, I was like, I'm just instantly gonna fucking love this album if it's all written like this, and it does follow on a lot like that. So first for me is Reputation. I think it's some of the best vocals he's ever shown in a song. And the lyrics behind it kind of sets up what he's talking about for the rest of the album with his struggles.
It just never gets going though, does it?
It's not really supposed to though. It's its own
But it feels
thing.
like it should. Like if it's not supposed to, you should really make it feel like it's not supposed to. But it always feels like it should just.
Which one was that? Genuinely, I am really sorry.
The first song of the
Reputation.
album.
Reputation is your first favourite.
Yeah.
Okay. I think that's the first time I've ever had to do that, and I feel really ashamed actually.
It's okay.
No, it's not okay.
You idiot.
And it does build up at the end, and because it follows directly into Cooped Up, and there is a big like
a lot
ending.
of the songs do follow into each other.
Yes.
And I really like it when they do.
And again, that's why I think as well about the saying the whole thing is like almost supposed to be. It's not just thrown in. like some of his other albums are just singles randomly scattered about, and I don't think there's going to be as many singles because it's like a whole body of work instead, and that follows that kind of. I suppose it makes sense to then link them as he has done, and it's cool, and they're not too garish if you just shuffle the album either, which is quite cool, because sometimes when artists do that, it just sounds fucking weird when you listen to the song on its own and it's got this random bit at the end of the song. Like I think you said that about Pierce the Veil ages ago, Denver. And he was like, I don't get why they do that because it just fucking cuts off randomly. Whereas I don't think they're too garish on this. I think they kind of work.
I never listened to this in shuffle.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I also didn't listen to it in shuffle.
I need to start doing that again, really.
Any chance I got, I just wouldn't listen to it.
Why are you talking so much shit?
Looking at like the credits, and a lot of these songs are written by multiple people still.
Mm.
Well, producer-wise.
Oh,
No.
well, he's doing a Joe Midwood right now. Let me just clicky clack away to prove my point. Carry on, Will.
I mean, it's literally said in an interview that he didn't. So I don't know. Maybe he has
So
to say
he
about...
He's just a Joe Midwood.
So he lied then, did he?
Go watch the interview. Maybe I've quoted him wrong, but I'm sure that's what he fucking says. So
This way he actually says, I got to know a lot more writers to write better music.
no, he definitely didn't.
Yeah, there's no way he said that.
So yeah, so for that reason, Reputation is my favorite because it kind of opens it all up and shows exactly what the album's going to be, and it makes sense where it is. I feel like being anywhere else in the album, it kind of would have felt a bit just randomly placed. Again, I think the album's paced well because it never kind of drops off. There's always something to look forward to, especially with the new deluxe. I fucking love the last two songs, and they end it better than it did when it wasn't a deluxe, personally, because of the weird
I think that
recording.
That definitely agree on. Holy shit.
Yeah, because I don't get
Yeah,
why that was included.
I agree.
In terms of honourable mentions, I'm very glad that he put Lemon Tree in. At first, I was like, you Aidan, I was like, what the fuck does it even mean? Upon reading what it's supposed to mean, and it actually kind of is cool how he's written it, but it's still, I guess it's, if you have to look into it, it's a bit weird, but it still sounds great, especially when he sings better. What's weird about it?
Just a
He's singing
happy
about
song
fucking
about
fruit
fruit.
trees, Joe.
Yeah, just a happy song about fruit.
But the meaning's so much deeper.
I had some lemon.
It's actually
drizzle
not a
today.
happy song at all.
What's it about?
Well, he's talking about a lemon tree because he's sour and
Nice.
toxic on the inside. No, that is actually what he's written it for.
Well, I want to hear more about Denver's lemon drizzle though. Can we...
Was it? I also had a lemon drizzle earlier.
I didn't ask you, Joe.
Okay.
It's
Fat
a
prick.
self-made lemon drizzle.
You made it.
It's been in the freezer.
Emma
and I've
made
just
it,
been-
let's be honest.
I
It's
fucking made it.
self-made. It was in the freezer in the Tesco pack.
You made it.
Yeah, I made it.
Why did
You
put it
made
in the
lemon
freezer?
drizzle.
Who puts
You don't
cake
fucking
in
make
Wait,
it. Fuck off.
who puts cake in a freezer?
Well, I'm not going to eat it all in one go, Joe.
You made lemon drizzle
Yes. I
on
did
your
make
own.
lemon drizzle.
On your own.
From scratch? Or
On
was it
your
like an
look at
Aunt
us and
Betty?
say
I
you did
did.
it on your own.
Define on your own.
Was she with anyone else making it?
Well, Emma was there, but she wasn't making the lemon drizzle.
Was it an Aunt Betty's thing, or was it
No.
from scratch?
Emma told me how to make it, but I did the making.
There you
You
go.
fucking son of a bitch.
Okay.
I think we can give him that. That's self.
I refuse.
Because Emma was cooking the Sunday lunch at the time.
No, when I cook anything out of Gordon Ramsay's cookbook, I consider that Gordon Ramsay made that. Personally.
Yeah.
Right.
So in this instance, Emma made that.
Emma made that cake.
Do you consider like the ingredients you use, where they came from? Did they also make the cake?
The chicken made a cake.
I call this chicken Stephen.
Uncle Ben
Well,
made
to
my
be fair,
cake.
I always wonder how when I get like stuff from the Chinese and stuff like that, like you're telling me a chicken fried this rice.
Oh, so fucking stupid.
But then it gets a bit iffy when you start getting
Egg.
special fried rice.
Or egg fried rice.
Who cooked this again?
Fuck's sake.
I'm not.
Oh, when the Chinese is...
No.
Never mind.
Nope, not going there.
Oh, yes, honourable mentions. Lemon Tree. I got a bit bored of Cooped Up just because I'd heard it fucking so many times in the charts. And I thought it was a bit weak for a single, personally.
Me.
Lemon Tree, I Like You. That was very close to being in the top 3. Doja's really cool on that. I'm very happy you made a song with her because she's great.
Yeah, I always forgot your weird crush for Doja Cat.
Oh, she's probably my number one crush other than Florence Pugh right now. She's
I don't know who that is.
unreal.
Florence Pugh.
Wasting Angels with the Kid Laroi. Their voices work very well together, and I love the whole chorusy bigness to it. It's very nice. There's not too much to the lyrics for that song. It kind of just seems to repeat most of the same stuff, but so it's kind of why it went down a bit for me. But it's still very good, very big, and yes, great. And then One Right Now is very good, but again, just heard it a million times. But those two made a great song. And then probably the closest to then being picked as my third was Hateful, because that is one of my favourite Post Malone songs now.
Hateful is really
there is.
good.
I love the drum
one
to
of
it.
the added on ones?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I love the like drum beat to him singing. It's like super hard and just works really well.
I don't understand when you got a song like that on the album. Why have like one of the weaker ones like Euthanasia when he could have just put that on the normal album?
Yeah.
You know?
But then Euthanasia had like a bit of a meaning to it, so it's kind of like you can understand if it was more personal for him, then you get that. But I would say you could get rid of New Recording 12 Jan 3 2020.
Yeah, just get rid of that completely. Yeah, even though it's a great song.
It's grown on me now, though.
But Hateful is, amazing and very close. Probably one of my favourite written is songs and produced by him as well. But in the grand scheme of things, again, it could have probably just been in my top 3 on another day. So, in general, very well written. I know you could probably say I'm just biased because I fucking love him, but I would still admit if I didn't like it as much, and I genuinely love this, and it's going to be very difficult to.
In which case, I don't think I'm worried that you're biased. I'm worried that you're blinded.
Ooh. I'm not blinded.
Ooh.
You've been very negative about all this, and
I think he's preparing for a switch.
Came out of the womb negative.
He's preparing.
I don't know why I've been so negative. I
switcheroo.
thought this would be like one of your favourite Post Malone's albums because of the way it's like
Yeah, I
produced
would
and
have
written.
thought so too.
So,
Yeah, he's switcherooing. We're waiting for a switch.
I don't know. He's only ever been negative about it to me, so it makes me sad. Yeah.
Because it's my favourite album ever made.
Shut the fuck up.
If I was a liar, which I'm not. Or am I?
Or is he?
There you go.
Is it me?
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's me. I think I need to just sit down and accept that I like Post Malone. I've been like on the defense. Woo! I've been on the defense for so long. Every time Will picks an album, a Post Malone album, I'm like, for fuck's sake. Every time Will tries to show me a Post Malone song, I'm like, I just don't want to hear it. And then when I actually like just do it, I just enjoy myself, and I just need to just accept it and shut up and stop being a little bitch.
Yes.
And I also kind of this album gave me a lot of food for thought because I struggled to make a verdict until I came to picking my top 3 because I was just like I just don't know what to think, and then I realized that I wanted to put most of the songs in my top 3, and I was like, fuck, I love this. This is definitely my favourite Post Malone album yet. And I feel like that's because even though it lacks, I would say, the main bangers that maybe the other albums had, I think this was just more consistently good. And it also had that kind of lo-fi feel that I'm always into. which kind of raised the bar for me. And I also feel like his vocals are the best he's ever been. They're a lot less auto-tuned than most of the other albums, and a lot more raw, and I like that. Don't get me wrong, there's exceptions. There's exceptions with songs in it that are very like cliche, and those are the ones that I didn't particularly like as much as the others. But as a whole, I thought vocally he was great.
Fantastic.
That is really all I have to say about this album. I thought the production was as you'd expect from a Post Malone album. He always makes it interesting instrumentally. Every song's always got something different in. Also, I always like how he uses different artists. There's always plentiful of guest artists.
Always different as well. He didn't seem to use the same people twice.
And they're always unique as well. Like what was it on Hollywood's Bleeding? He used the Ozzy Osborne. Like, where the fuck did that come from? You know. But I
mean, Ozzy wasn't aware he was doing it, but
was he not?
He's not aware of anything.
He's not aware of anything.
Did you ever see that thing about him?
Poor guy.
He came out and basically said that he just wants to go out doing shitloads of drugs. Like if they tell him he's got days to live, he's just getting his hands on as much drugs as possible and just ODing himself.
It's the ultimate rock star, and he's still living off of that like 80s,
that rockstar
90s hype, and he's just stuck in time. I think.
If Star Wars
Somebody's
was even
been in my
more
room,
successful.
taking all my bits.
Sorry.
Have you ever seen videos of him from the 80s? He looks nothing like he does now.
That was you. You drank.
You drank all the beers. You're the beer thief. I love Ozzy Osbourne so much.
He's such a character.
I just the idea of him just being like, it was me.
He's an absolute.
I am my enemy.
He's so good.
It's like one of those. He turns to the mirror and the mirror's pointing a gun at him, and he's like, oh.
My least favourite was Waiting for a Miracle. Just because it was a bit boring. I would skip it any time it came on. It wasn't obviously bad sounding, but it was just a bit of nothing, to be honest. I also do have an honourable mention, which I'm going to mention before my top three. I'm going to keep it spicy.
Wow.
And that is When I'm Home. Because I thought that was just such a different song for Post Malone. I've never really heard him. When I'm Alone. I thought it was a very different song for Post Malone. I've never heard him like do anything like that. It had a very like vibey vibe. I don't really like soundscapey. Is that how you describe it?
This is why we couldn't be professional.
Very like you just get lost in that.
It's just
drum
real
beat.
vibey, guys.
It's just vibe. It's just a vibe. You get lost in the vibe.
You do,
like,
you do get lost in the vibe.
It is one of those like you just get lost in the drum beat and the bass, and it's all just like there, and it's nice.
It is there.
One thing I will note is I think this is the best like sounding album he's done in terms of like levels. Like I think a lot of his older songs are going to be very over bassy. I feel like they're just right in this album.
A lot of lo-fi elements in it.
Which is I think is why I love it so much. And
it's included a lot more like toning down the instruments to do like a big what do you call that, like when it's just
crescendo,
when he just drops all the levels of the instruments and just kind of sings a line and then brings it all back in. I don't know what you call it, but he does that a lot on this album. I've seen a few of the songs.
My third favourite was Lemon Tree.
Oh.
Liked Lemon Tree. Nice, it was very acousticy.
Is this your third favourite?
This is my third favourite. It's Lemon Tree. Although I did find the fruit thing a little bit weird. I just thought it was really catchy. I quite liked it. My second favourite is probably the most notable, to be fair, which was A Love-Hate Letter to Alcohol, which was the first song Will ever showed me before the album came out.
Since I was born.
Since I was born. When I came out of the womb, Will Davey was there. He was like, you gotta listen to Post Malone. I was like, no!
It's the first thing I tell anyone I meet ever.
And it's only took me till now. And I remember just thinking, nah. But, like, I just love it for the first minute. Just the Halo, that bit. It's very, like, it's very catchy. And it's very, like, recognisable as well. And I quite like it.
I was going to say, I didn't get the Halo vibe from it. But
Did you not? No, I
can see why you would think that, but...
I can see why you'd be wrong.
But I just liked it. It was very...
No, I am.
Fleet Foxes are very cool as well, and it might actually be worth picking them at one point. Their production on their songs is fucking awesome.
It's weird that you say that, Will.
It is weird that you say that, Will.
Okay.
And my first favourite was I Like You with
thank
Doja Cat.
Oh.
And it's annoying. I didn't know it was like the most listened to be fair.
So mainstream.
you.
But I just thought it was the catchiest. It had the catchiest chorus. But I think it's the same with Will. Like, my top 3 could be different tomorrow. So, in all, yeah, I really liked it.
Yay!
Nice.
Why is he so happy?
Good.
Nice, you on there, Denver, before you do your...
He's getting ready.
Oh, no.
Just getting ready to
It's,
sliver it up.
it's a reload of the vocal cords.
Exactly. I thought this was Post Malone's worst album by miles.
Oh my god.
Oh, goddamn!
It's
You
different.
know when he hit it with that one,
Um,
just drop it.
I think
Wha-pa!
my individual notes on songs were like next to nothing. I feel like the songs almost blended together to give a general album feel, which I suppose gives good aspect for like the construction of the album. Like it never felt like it jumped between too much. So I guess that's a plus. But like notable things were naming 2 songs very similarly, I think is just lazy. I found most of the album boring to listen to and was quite frankly, I wouldn't say like, I didn't hate any of the songs, but I also didn't really like any of them. So it was difficult to pick a top 3 because I honestly just didn't care for really any of them. Largely uninteresting and forgettable. Didn't really enjoy it. There was some songs that had very mild hooks, but never enough to really make me actually want to listen to the song again. It would just be like, oh, that was alright.
Just swinging for the fences.
Did you just wake up and choose violence today? Like, what is
Fucking
this?
murder.
Wait, hold on. He might have listened to it in his car. I think this
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
I disagree with everything you're saying.
But
carry on.
nothing grabbed me or made me want to stay around. If anything, it was saved by the fact that a lot of songs were short. So it kind of changed enough. I always felt like the auto-tune they put on his voice in a lot of the songs to try and change it up only made it worse. The effects they put on his voice. And he sings the same in every song. And it kind of just... It means the album has this sort of just wavy vibe that goes through it of
isn't
just
that
general
his voice?
boredom.
Right.
We
He
say,
doesn't
come on,
sing
Gerald.
differently.
We say this with a lot of bands and stuff, where like if they don't really differ away from their general vocal range, we always go like, yeah, it's just the same.
But this album, he differed the most out of any other album.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean that it wasn't still the same.
Right, we all rated the Normandy album pretty well, right? Like, he sings pretty much the same in every single song.
At least the
Yes, but
songs
this
are
is
different.
all subjective to whether you liked it or not. I got the same. There was the difference between the best and the worst song on this album minimal, but I didn't like any of it.
Fucking hell.
Fucking hell.
That sounds worse than I mean, but like
I didn't like
because
any of it.
I
but
didn't
it's not
dislike
that
any of
bad.
it, but I also if someone played it in the background, I'd be like.
Yeah.
Fine. I don't really dislike any of these songs.
This
but
could be-
equally,
this
I
could be
wouldn't
Hall
ever
and
go
Oates, you
stick
know?
that song on.
You'd be like,
No,
hell
because
yeah.
Hall and Oates are fucking brilliant.
Exactly. Be like, hey, Rich Girl, please.
What, you mean
Like,
they're 2
what's
songs
Rich Girl?
that are good?
Yeah, those 2 songs on the whole album was better than this whole album.
No, it
Oh,
wasn't. Not in the
I would
song.
rather listen to it because at least there was something to look forward to. The thing to look forward to on this album was it finishing.
yeah.
What is wrong
God,
with it? Have you
he's
even
been
got
saving,
ears?
he's been saving up that one. Look at that. He just pulls out of the bag. He's like, you know what? Fuck you.
He hasn't even got ears.
Most of the song's length was good though. I did mention that before. Only sounds good on a studio headset situation. Anytime out loud, it's even worse.
Is that a car issue again? For fuck's
Um,
sake.
It is the car, yes.
Honestly,
garbage,
that is the
isn't it?
most stupid fucking.
Of course, it's not going to sound.
thing.
Of course it
it's not
is.
going to sound as good on shit speakers.
Right, if the song is good enough to hook you in, it doesn't matter what situation it is, the song will be good. If the song has to be listened to in like really good vocal situations to appreciate how good the song is bad.
No,
It's just fact.
that's not.
That's how
Because-
he's allowed to have that.
Right,
opinion.
okay. The general public, not everyone gets their studio quality headphones out and goes, let me listen to this song, see if I like it. No, it is generally played on the radio out loud. That is when most music is listened to. So if your song is subpar in that situation, it's just bad. And that's not really just applying to this song, it's applying to any time I give that criticism. So to say that's a stupid reason is just very short-sighted.
Fucking hell.
Also, you can't throw out short sighted. I'm right here. Right.
So generally,
I mean, the thing is,
Oh,
I genuinely don't hate Denver's reasoning there. It does make sense as much as he's being very like violent about it. Like, he's not technically wrong there. Like, if a song sounds shit on normal speakers, what makes you like? If you're the kind of person that puts on the studio quality headphones and be like,
Yeah, but it doesn't sound any
You're like,
different.
oh,
That's
you're
why
like,
it's a
oh, yes,
stupid argument.
you've got the
Because
you've got
all
the consistency
headphones
is
add
different
is
to all.
the little
So-
details.
And then you can hear it. Yes.
So here's my thing is when I was doing my music stuff is I remember going back
Immediately
and
around.
forth between my car and my like little studio bit with like speakers, headphones, back to the car, like to try it out on all different speakers to make sure it sounded good on every single speaker. So I can understand where Denver's coming from. But at the same time, that means the song bad or does that mean the production's bad?
Big up.
Kind
Or
of
the speakers.
weighs that up.
well, no. The way I
All
see
the
it with
speakers.
with this in particular is that its redeeming factors was its production, which you could only appreciate in those studio quality situations. Like I say, none of the songs are bad, but I wasn't interested in any of them or hearing any of them again. I just felt like when you said about it's like less produced and there's less like hooky songs. To me, it's like it's the hooky songs in an album that pull me in. Like there was never anything that I looked forward to listening on this album. It was just kind of there and okay. But then, even when I appreciate that was only when I like listened to the production of it more and thought, well, it is like a well-made, rounded album. I just didn't enjoy it at all. But it was that borderline point of, like, I don't know if it's like bad or like there are worst albums we've had that I have probably scored the same just because it may have had one or two redeeming songs that at least redeemed it. I felt like this never had anything. It was just kind of this wave of just, okay. And because I like Post Malone, and I like so many of his other albums, possibly more than I previously rated them in album review, to then listen to this and not really find any of them, like, I didn't pick a single one to add to my liked songs. I was just generally disappointed with the album, which is a real shame because I was looking forward to listen to it. So equally, my top three was kind of just picked for arbitrary reasons, because I just struggled with it. My least favorite was Euthanasia. I don't remember why I picked it. I'll be honest. I think it was slow and boring was my notes, but that was my notes for every slow song. Because it got to that point where it was just raw basic things that was the difference between whether I liked a song or not more than the other. And nothing explains this more than my third favourite was New Recording 12th of Jan.
No, it fucking wasn't.
This is why you know
Right,
the
I
review
got
is
it
irrelevant.
Yeah, no, I
Jan
was
3rd.
I kind of got it. Like, for the most part, I don't really agree with most of the stuff that Denver's saying. But up until that point, I was like, I can see where he's coming from. You've completely lost me. No, fuck you. You have completely lost me. You are so far from, like, anything at this point.
I put 12th of Jan. It's not. It's New Recording 12, Jan 3rd, 2020. Only reason it's third favourite, because I could remember that one.
No. That's not a reason. That's not a reason.
I love this review.
That's a reason.
Sorry, it is a reason. It's not a good enough reason, but it is one. That's so abysmal. You know it's abysmal.
It stood out.
I suppose it sounds the same in the car as it does on the headphones, though.
Exactly,
Shit.
sounds the same in all scenarios.
That's true. That's true.
And it was, I just remembered it. And it's
you
because
have lost
so many
it.
of the songs. There was like 10 songs in here that I felt equally about. So the fact that has that one like standout quality of maybe it's because like it was equally like, is this the worst on the album?
Yeah, the
or my third
standout quality
favourite?
wasn't as bad, and you're like, yes, there.
The key
There
to
we go.
Never's heart
Genius
is to,
marketing.
the key to Never's heart is just make the production of your song shit, and there it's consistent on every speaker. That
Production can be shit, but if the hooks are good enough, I'll take it.
Even bad publicity is publicity, and that's
Exactly.
what just happened with this song
Exactly.
right now.
My second favourite
Okay.
Yeah.
is One Right Now. Despite it including The Weeknd, one of my least favourite artists, I think that meant it. I went into that song always thinking it's going to be shit. And then it was like, oh no, it's just as good as the others. So it kind of then boosted it up because I was surprised that it had The Weeknd in it. And I actually liked it as much as some of the ones without The Weeknd. So that gave it a little bonus there. And then my favourite was Wasting Angels with the Kid Laroi, because it had like a grand harmony section at the end, which was quite good. But other than that, this album, generally, I don't hate it. I just thought it was very very disappointing.
Holy shit! Wow,
That was brutal. That was fine.
that's the most interesting review you've done in years.
It is. That was. I love that.
I'm not gonna skip that one. I'm gonna listen back to album review. Let me tell you that.
I fucking am.
Fair. You've got to listen to this back at least once, but maybe twice.
Fuck's sake.
Just cut it out, Will.
Just got it.
You're in charge now.
Due to technical issues, I'm afraid we have to skip
We lost all of Denver's audio.
Don't know how that
Weird.
happened. Fucking hell.
Post
Fucking
Malone has really grown on me over the years. I think he's a great guy from what I've seen. I have no doubt by the time this album review comes out that he's probably like ran over a kid or something.
He's lovely.
But as an extension of liking him, I actually genuinely really started liking his music. Post Malone's 12 Carat Shit Stain Deluxe is not a step forward for him at all. Will told me that he basically had creative freedom for this album, which shows me how important having multiple perspectives are. Because the standout songs on this album aren't half as memorable as anything from any of the other albums. It starts off strong, but it doesn't take long to resort back to pretty standard pop music, like basic beats and a bit of flibby-dibby-dob on top. Nothing special there. The worst should definitely be new recording blah blah blah, but by the power wielded by Captain Acoustic, it is not. It will be euthanasia, because it's just shit. Terrible song, literally awful. Why would you listen to it? Dishonourable mention to Insane too, because that's just more bass than substance. Like when you buy a bag of Doritos and it's half empty. Third favourite for me was Lemon Tree. Shit lyrics, but I'm Captain Acoustic, so I'm legally obligated to put that out there.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
It's not shit lyric.
It is shit lyrics.
The
Second
lyrics are
favourite
kind of weird.
for me was Reputation. I think it has the most heart of any of the songs on the album, but it doesn't go overboard with the layers. It does add a lot of layers as you go on, but it's like a good build. It's got like a good balance, I think. And number one for me was One Right Now, featuring The Weeknd. Although the meaning's a bit crusty, it's definitely the best produced and just sounds the best, and it's got the most harmonies, and it's nice contrast between the two singers.
I definitely agree with you with like the memorability of the songs. They're definitely not as memorable as his other
Not even
albums.
close. Like,
No.
you could show me a list of these songs, and I would not be able to basically pick out any of them and be like, "Oh yeah, that one's this."
Do you know what it's called? 12 Carat Toothache.
Why? Does he
No,
have
no,
a
no.
bunch
Does anyone know that?
of- Oh no. Stupid name, isn't it?
I think it should be called Reputation, and think it's not called that. Maybe for contract or copyright issues.
A lot of the album is talking about his like struggle with literally Reputation is about his whole like you're a celebrity. You should do this, do this, do this. Sing for us. Keep doing like a fucking jester.
I think I'm going
So
to
then it's
write
like-
an album about having to survive listening to this album.
And then
the
he's
struggle that I went through getting through 12 Carat Shit Stain.
and then he's got 12 Carat Toothache. Like, I'm rich,
Boring.
but it's what is it? It's just causing me toothache.
Oh, that
Right,
actually
got
makes
ya.
sense. That's quite a good meaning, really.
Mm.
I'm sure he didn't come up with that. Overall, I'm not that impressed. I guess it's just past Malone.
Ooh.
Yeah. Sorry, Will.
I don't care. It's still amazing.
Do you know what was weird is before we did that, I thought everyone was going to I thought Will was going to like it, but I thought everyone would definitely agree that it was the worst. I felt so confident.
No, it
that
is.
was
It
the
is.
worst.
This is the worst. Oh, what, you mean Euthanasia or just the whole album?
The album.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, it's the worst Post Malone album. But then
I think
a
the
lot
issue
a
is
lot has happened since then. I used to really hate it back then, so I was like, "Oh, this is shit." I give it like a 2 or whatever. Like, I feel like that's probably unfair to really give it that rating now. If I went back,
I think the issue is like it's the contrast of the other albums having the really good songs, but I know there were songs that I definitely didn't like in the other albums. Whereas in this album, there's only the one song that I didn't really like.
It's always the argument, sort
That's
of, with
really
album
good.
review, isn't it? Is it better to make an album that's half full of crap and half full of really good songs, or to make an album full of something in the
yeah.
middle?
Consistently okay songs, yeah.
and that's kind of just what this album was, like you say. Like, it was just like none of them were baseline fucking awful, except like 3 for me. But that's just.
But none of
and
them
then,
were like
none of them
great.
were like, oh my god! Like even my number 1 favorite, I'm probably never going to listen to it again. I'm not bothered.
Yeah.
It doesn't like. I could go the rest of my life not listening to any of the songs from this album, and I'd be fine.
It's so disappointing when Hollywood's Bleeding was like, I thought was so good.
Promising, definitely promising. Waitings.
Ratings.
Well.
9.
Oh, Joe.
8.
3.5.
3.5.
Oof.
Oh, we're
Ouch.
on the level.
Oh my god!
The same rating and everything.
Is it a thumbs up or down from Joe?
It's a strong thumbs up from me on this
Oh,
one.
that's like at least 5 thumbs up in a row now.
I know.
It scores 24.
Wowee.
That's a pretty shit rating. Actually, it's not. It's
Slightly,
a bit,
below,
it's
slightly
just,
below our album.
It's
review
all,
average.
yeah, it's almost a bang out.
I'm trying to think, like, sure the very first Post Malone album must have been the worst, right? That we did previously. Because I feel like... Yeah, let's look, Stony Deluxe.
For me, the album's just got progressively better. And this
Stony
one,
Deluxe scored 25.5.
So that one did better than this one.
Yeah.
And that's fine, Will, but like you have to step back and sort of think that maybe you are genuinely being blinded by this. By your
I'm not. I've genuinely
by
like
your
enjoyed
love for
this
Post Malone.
probably more than. See, I've
Because
rated
you
it
like
and
Post
right.
Malone?
The thing is, I've rated this a 9, even though I think the last 2 albums, or maybe even 3, I've all rated them like a 9.5. But I would say now that I rated them too highly out of biasism, if that's a thing, and
Sure.
we'll probably say they're like an 8.5 because there's definitely songs like that I would say on the previous albums where I'm like, I don't even listen to that because I don't really like it that much. Like it, like
Man, I
3
don't
or
know,
4
the
songs.
The
Whereas
problem
this,
is
like,
you
genuinely,
like stuff too much.
no, like
No, you do. Like
I don't.
No,
You
anything
died by Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
And you were like, it's the best. series.
anything
I've never
you like,
said
Will,
that.
you
No,
love.
but even the bad episodes, you were like, yeah, but they were still good. They weren't.
no, because there was good elements in it. If you were like
You
hardcore
love
Star Wars-
Obi-Wan!
if there's hardcore, like there's bits. I admit when there was shit bits in it, and I would equally say that. But I still enjoyed it just because I love the general
You love the, yeah, you love
thing
the
of it
universe and
anyway.
stuff. Yeah,
This
exactly.
I genuinely thought was written better than anything else is made. It was a lot more
You're-
personal and emotional.
You're biased, Will.
I'm
You're
not
just
biased.
You surely you can see this.
It's generally written better.
It's
Because
not.
I
It
agree,
is.
Will. I agree, Will.
It is written better.
I agree, Will.
There's
And
more
some of the-
levels
and
to
some-
it better
and some
than
of
he's
the
ever done.
lights, like more emotional. I really like the emotional music and stuff like that. this just isn't it. It's not where it could be or where it even should be.
I disagree completely. I think it's the best he's done.
Well, sadly, Will, I don't have any like get out of free tokens. I'm just going off like what I think alone, as opposed to just being bumped up by bias.
Well,
Not
according
being
to the
biased at
album
all.
review, scores that be, it is the worst Post Malone album.
Completely disagree.
Hollywood's Bleeding was 0.5 off of 30.
Damn. I actually remember thinking that one was alright. What did I
Yeah,
rate?
yeah, but you scored it at 4.
Makes sense. Honestly, makes sense. I did say I'd probably rate
Yeah,
him
you did
higher if
say
I went
you'd
back.
rate him higher, yeah.
Because, like, I think this one just blew my mind with how kind of meh he's really gone. I was expecting a lot. Maybe that's why. Because I just started to get into Post Malone. I was like, you know what? Yeah, he's alright. He's good. I've listened to a few of his songs. And then, like, Will's like, new Post Malone album. We listened to it and it's like, oh, God, this is not good. At all. Like, I was like, oh, God.
I feel like you're
Why?
massively just shitting on it for no reason.
Yeah, that's what I do, Will. I'm here to be massive.
You
shitter.
are over thingy it.
Yeah,
Like,
they call me,
it's
they call
well
me big
produced,
shitter.
well written. You've said
No,
literally only
no,
3
don't
of the
you
songs
fucking
you didn't
dare.
like.
Well produced, maybe. Not well written. Fuck off.
It is well written.
Not at all.
Yes, but I think there's a difference between... There is a middle ground between not liking and liking. There is just existing. And I feel like all the... When Aidan may say he only dislikes 3, but the rest are just there.
They're just there.
So, like, they don't... It doesn't gain any bonus points by having songs that just exist. If anything, that would make it a 5 album, and then he's knocked it off 0.5 for
The
every...
shitters. I don't do
every
it by
bad
an
one.
exact song.
I know, but I'm saying, like, as a general... Like a... Almost like a feeler.
Like a feeler.
Right, what's the next album, Aidan?
I'm glad you asked, Emma. How much do we want to suffer?
Not,
How suffering are you guys feeling right now?
not at all.
I'm feeling
Maximum.
pretty suffery.
Maximum suffrage.
So, Will is not happy with this.
Will's already at maximum suffrage.
Well, it's going to get even more when we do.
Oh, please don't.
Why, please don't?
Because
Will?
it's
You
just
love
awful,
this
and you know it's awful, so why would you
I
put
don't
it?
know what you're talking about.
I do know it's awful.
You even know it's awful, so why would you put
I
us
don't
through
know
this?
what he's talking about. What are you
People,
talking
I
about,
feel like
Aidan?
people need to experience this album, Will.
Nobody
Yeah, let's
fucking...
do it.
Oh, just fucking kill me now.
We're going to do Wet Leg by Wet Leg.
Wet leg by wet
I'm
leg.
telling you,
Yeah!
I will listen to it 3 times and then fucking stop. Like, I'm not listening to it any more than that. Fuck that.
That's so like, oh, why are you going in with such hostility?
Because I know the album, and I've listened to it, and it's horrendous.
Well,
And all
you're
the
being
songs
too-
sound exactly the same.
You're being too negative for me.
Sounds like you're being short-sighted.
Yeah, you're
Yeah,
being
well,
too
maybe
negative.
maybe
for
you
me
should
right now,
step
Will.
back and think about this a bit.
Take a bigger look. I mean,
Think about the
already
bigger
it's got
picture.
less songs than Post Malone's album, so that's a plus.
Ching, it's up a 0.5 in Denver's eyes.
I
Wow.
mean, it's half the songs are explicit.
I cannot wait to do
I
this.
can't wait to listen to Piece of Shit.
Will thinking of Aidan right now.
What's your closing thought, Joe?
Did you know that horned lizards use spurt blood out their eyes as a defense mechanism